first Inferno Girl comic, the beginning of a lifelong obsession. And here she was, unable to do the job that had meant so much to both of them. She took a deep breath. Could she even say it? Landseer just looked at her, his eyes so damn kind behind those glasses. The kindness and emotion clogged her throat, choking her. He spoke for her. I don't need to know why you're resigning. I knew your cousin. He was a good firefighter, a good person. I was fine, she said in a rush. My cousin didn't enter into it. I did the job for 10 years. Why was she arguing? This was ridiculous. Get it over with, get out, figure out her next act. That was the plan. Landseer nodded. I know. His eyes flicked to the paperwork again. It says here that you got an undergraduate degree in communications. Okay. Yeah. She hadn't known what she wanted to do when she was 18. It sounded creative, fun, even. The reality was neither. What did her college major have to do with the price of beans anyway? Landseer rubbed his chin. What do you know about social media? Mary Pat was at it again. Simon's jaw ached with tension as she gave an audible harumph in front of the holiday display and carefully relocated a glitter-laden snowflake on the backdrop while glaring at the empty spot on the table. She didn't seem to get that the point of a library book display was to increase circulation, not discourage it. But Mary Pat always seemed to think her displays were akin to an ice sculpture at a fancy wedding, something to be admired and not touched. Ever. She'd probably get even more bent out of shape when such a sculpture had the gall to actually melt. Without saying a word, because it was pointless, Simon got up from the reference desk and fast-walked back to the children's section. He snagged a copy of My First Kwanzaa and returned to the display table that Mary Pat had abandoned, presumably in a huff. For a display that was supposed to honor multiple winter holidays, Mary Pat's selections were suspiciously Christian. Of course, this was the same woman who didn't put How to Catch a Turkey in the Thanksgiving display, deeming it too silly for such a solemn holiday. Apparently, the age 2 to 6 set were supposed to be serious about a holiday that was mostly about eating lots of food as far as they were concerned. The only thing Simon could be sure of was that Mary Pat was probably talking about the highly fictionalized version, filled with Christian religious concepts and strangely absent of colonialism. He didn't understand Mary Pat and didn't want to. It was bad enough that she thought she was better at everything than everyone else, forever snagging assignments like holiday displays for the events and holidays she deemed appropriate, while ignoring events like Pride and any and all non-Christian holidays. Simon shuddered at what she'd deem appropriate for those tables. It was even worse that she had been absolutely furious when Simon snagged the role of social media manager for the library system. It was a half-time gig, but one he had hopes would turn full-time at some point. The better to be able to avoid people like Mary Pat. Well, people in general. When he got his master's in library science, he had been focused far too much on the information-finding portion of the job, and not enough on the patron-facing part. By now, he was feeling more than a little burned out. He sat back down behind the reference desk just as a young girl, maybe about 12, came up with a serious face. Can I help you? He asked. Her slightly skeptical expression said she was suspicious of his professional demeanor, but he always treated all patrons with professionalism. He hated it when librarians, or anyone else, talked down to kids. I'm supposed to write a report on ancient Egypt, she said. My teacher said you'd have books about it. We do, he said. Can you be more specific about your report topic? He hoped for daily life on the banks of the Nile, religion, agriculture, anything other than what he both feared and knew it would be about. Mummies, the kid said firmly. Yep, that. He showed her how to search the catalog, then took her over to the children's nonfiction section, which abounded in age-appropriate books about ancient Egypt, including lots of facts about mummies. The girls